it's beginning to look a lot like hockey. Sure, Christmas is over, and we're so freaking waiting
Did somebody say hockey?
for a puck to drop in hockey.
Let's go.
At least in the NHL.
I get hockey for my birthday. Yay!
Yay!
They picked
That's
the best
right.
day of the year to start hockey.
Actually, the best day of the year to start hockey is on time. All right. Anyway,
Well,
Yeah.
there's that. But I mean, in this
in the context,
situation.
everything
Correct.
considered. Sure.
Because
Why not?
my birthday is super important.
Yes, they were planning like Gary Bettman was just like, hold on, when's your birthday? We're delayed.
That's right.
Hey, we'll have hockey on my birthday, and that's the first day of July. That's usually never happening.
Well, it did this year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did this year, but I was like, can I get
COVID's
some
not so
Canes
bad.
hockey? And I didn't get Canes hockey, so I'm still disappointed.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't get any Canes gifts this year.
Yeah, you
all.
did.
Well, Rayla got.
Now you're lying. I
No,
got you one.
I thought that was for Rayla. I thought
It was for all of you. Did you not read the
Oh.
card?
Well,
Wow, man, there's like card. Whip. We don't need that.
Well, I figured, the Kevin Weeks,
Who
the
reads the
hockey
card?
stick. Okay, so I got one thing from Canes. All right.
Okay,
fine.
everyone looks at everyone pretends to read the card while they're really like already spending the money in their head.
I know you read the card, Omar, because that's funny.
I mean, yeah, sure, it was one sentence, so it wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Knows what you did.
Aren't we so nice? We take care of each other.
Because we love each other.
That's what pod people do.
Isn't that right, podcast mom?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great. That's nice. See, at first I was like, these are my pod husbands, but nah, man, you're my sons.
Well,
that's a little better.
You went from really weird to slightly less weird.
Yeah.
We're this close to polygamy.
I mean, hey, consenting adults. Who cares?
Oh,
it's supposed to be a family-friendly podcast. I'm just...
Is it? We're talking about hockey, one of the most violent sports out there.
So
dealing with you two, you're definitely my sons.
That's fair. That's absolutely possible.
Oh my god! All right, entertainment aside, we got a ton to talk about.
We do.
Oh, so much.
It's been a while since we record, and well, we got some good news, we got some bad news, and we got some news.
Oh.
What do you guys want to start with?
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's go bad news.
Yeah, let's
All
go
right,
bad.
The first bad news piece we're going to have to talk about is the 1 year delay, at least 1 year delay, of the first outdoor game for the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah. So it was originally scheduled for February of this year, and it's been officially postponed to next season at least.
Insert the Everybody Hurts song while a tear goes down my eye.
There still hasn't been an opponent named. Although for some weird reason, and I don't know why, Wikipedia claims that the opponent will be the Islanders.
That's interesting.
Ooh, that would be interesting. That would be a good one.
But I'm going to say no.
It's probably some Islanders fan updating it and being like, are they going to get an outdoor game again?
Hey, they're getting a new arena, and it looks awesome, so shut up.
That would be fun, though.
Well, but will they bring the SUV with them? That's critical. How would you know it's an Islanders game if there isn't a car parked in the corner?
That's true. I mean, have you guys seen the actual building schematics of this place? It's going to look really nice. It's right next to Belmont Park, which is the horse racing place. It looks good. It's going to be one of the better ones of the NHL. And honestly, I think it's going to be better than Seattle's.
Ooh, bold statements, considering Seattle's is supposed to be like a super not economic, but environmentally friendly building. Ooh. Zach hates the environment!
But you also got to remember the environment that the Islanders traditionally have on Long Island, and that was usually
Strong Island?
That was in a building of what, 13 14,000, and now you're going to have 19,000 in that building.
Maybe. We don't know.
It's going to
Maybe
be
10 people will show up.
very interesting.
Whoa. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about the Islanders being the opponent? I'm not interested in watching them come play here. Who on the Islanders really is really fun to
I mean,
watch?
there is that
Matthew Barzal, that's it.
there is the
Barzal, yeah.
factor that they do travel well to Raleigh. Not as good as the
Yes.
Rangers, which we don't want to do because so many Ranger fans would buy too many dang tickets.
I mean, every team travels well.
Yeah, but the
honestly,
Islanders, they
Raleigh.
have that support group that always has that one section
That
in
one
the lower
section,
level.
right?
Like, I would be interested to see that happening in Carter Finley because they could fill out not only a tiny area, they could take up a whole section.
You're assuming
in the
they
end
can
zone if
bring
they
more.
wanted.
You're assuming they can bring more.
I
could.
That's an assumption. I mean, yeah, they travel well, but how well? I mean, it's because you got to realize there's a group that are always here that for every other game they're wearing red, and then when the Islanders show up, then that's when they start their chants and then they get really quiet when they get swept.
Yeah, the
That one
fans
corner of
that
the
make
arena
the
is really
Caniacs the mad
quiet.
the most.
So yeah.
I mean, you don't get that up north. You don't get that where, oh, I'm a Ranger fan every day of the year except for when the Islanders play us. You don't get that. It's just
You do.
down here.
You do. You'll get that everywhere. Trust me. If I go somewhere else, I'm gonna be a Canes fan when the Canes show up.
So who do you want to see if you don't want to see the Islanders?
Honestly, so I want to see a smaller team. I want to see Tampa. And there's an opportunity right now, I think this is a perfect segue to start building a rivalry of sorts, a southern rivalry with Tampa.
You mean the one that we used to have until we got yanked out of their division?
Well, guess what?
Right.
We're
back. So,
oh my god, this division's gonna be fun.
This division is absolutely interesting. It is absolutely an upgrade for Carolina coming from the bloodbath that is the Metro division. And considering the fact that Carolina's made the playoffs twice in a row in the Metro is impressive. But if you look at how this division is really set up, this new division, right? So we've got the Metro really saw an exit of Columbus and Carolina. And
added Buffalo
and Boston, right? Because the Canadian teams have to all play together. So there's the Canadian division, and of course, a good chunk of the Canadian teams were from the Eastern Conference. Like they're kind of fairly split.
They're fairly split, but let's be honest though. Let's be completely honest. The Bloodbath division is going to be the Canadian division because we're going to get 8 to 10 Battle of Albertas.
Oh boy, I don't know if I can survive all that. We'll get
just imagine that if the Hurricanes played Washington 10 times. There'd be a fight every other period, pretty much.
Yeah,
I was looking at the divisions and the way they set them up geographically. And it's like, they got all the West Coast teams in the West. They got the Northeast and the East side. And then they were like, I'll just throw the rest of them in the Central.
I mean, that's all you have to do. That's all you can do, really.
Right.
And there was conversations of
I'll take it.
I mean, let's look at our division right now, right? You got Nashville, Tampa, Panthers. Those are the three closest teams to us right now.
Sure.
Columbus, Chicago, and Detroit are kind of grouped together as well. And then there's Dallas, like
right.
We're going to be like frenemies with them. We loved them during the postseason after we got beat, but now we're like.
So there was originally a different plan where Dallas was going to be on the Western Division, and we were going to get the Blues in this.
I thought it was Minnesota.
I mean, Minnesota's was also in there as well. I think It was. I think Minnesota,
But
there
I
was
think it works out. Minnesota
conversation-
going with the Blues to the West. I think that works out for them.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, the Blues are gonna have to. I mean, they've worked the schedule out for all the teams that have to travel the furthest. They kind of just stick in one city for a long time and then move. And then when teams travel to them, they play like all the home games over there, like all at once. So like when Dallas comes over, there's gonna be a stretch where we're just like we'll play Dallas 4 times in a row and then they'll leave, and we won't see them again until we travel to them, and then we'll play them 4 times in a row and then we'll leave, just to minimize travel.
Fun 56 games.
So imagine like the Blues have to do that to almost every game. Like they're just gonna
I mean,
go
the Canes are
somewhere.
going to be like that too, though.
No, I mean we got Nashville right down the road. We can split around Nashville. Tampa, and Florida are only 5 hours away driving. I mean it's not that crazy.
Further than that, getting to Florida.
I've driven it.
Getting to
I've
Florida
driven
at least
it.
10.
No, what are you talking about? I've literally. Is it 5.5? No, sorry, 9.5.
5. Yeah, it's 5. 5
It's
is
5.5
short.
to Nashville, which is that way.
Yes,
Going
Nashville
that
is 5.5.
way is
Nashville was like 8 hours.
dang mountains.
The
Yeah.
mountains, yeah.
But here's the thing that we get that
Atlanta's
fresh, we get that
5.5.
fresh look at the rivals again. But didn't we talk about this a few episodes ago where we were like, oh, who's the Canes' true rival? And like, well, people were starting to see Nashville as their rival, and now it has time to grow.
Yeah.
Plus, we get those old division rivals back with the Panthers and the Lightning, and then we get some nice new stuff in there. Like we get Detroit, we get Chicago. Dallas will be interesting.
So Dallas is trying to make another bid to. I mean, we've got both teams that made the Stanley Cup Finals in our division. Tampa and Dallas.
Oh
So as much as
my.
people are like, "Oh, we're out of the bloodbath that is the Metro," like, hello, both Stanley Cup teams are here, to include Dallas and Tampa, and then a lot of these are playoff teams. Really, if you look at,
Does Chicago really count though?
no, I'm not counting. Let's look. Columbus.
Now, the reason I say that is because of the recent injury reports that they're dealing with, where Jonathan Towles is out indefinitely with some sort of injury that's not COVID related, and then Kirby Dach's out 5 to 6 months with a broken hand.
I mean, sure. I mean, if you look at like Tampa's number 1 in this division, no matter which way you slice it, right? And then
Now they're
who
without
comes number
Kucherov.
2? Is it Carolina? Is it Dallas? Is it Columbus? Is it Nashville? Even the Panthers are a threat. So really,
It's
at
a
that
question
point-
mark division.
right at that point, it's really up for grabs. So
And all we
this
have
is
to do
going
is
to be
get
a
fourth.
really fun
All
division
we
to
have
watch.
to do is get fourth. Don't get in.
This really will. I mean, I'd rather not just sit at 4th. I'd rather like move up and be an actual threat and sit comfortably for once. I wonder what that's like.
Do we? Amanda, what is this comfortably thing he's talking about?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
But the question
I don't know
is-
what it is to not be stressed out during.
But here's the thing: in this style of gameplay for this season, we're going to see something different. We're going to see something really interesting, right? Predictable teams are going to lose because you're going to play the same guy 2-3 times in a row, 4 times in a row.
Teams that rely
There are
on
teams that
one
are
or
playing
two
each other
players are
8
going to
times
be
in a row.
struggling.
What is it? We're I think LA and Anaheim are playing each other like straight up 8 times in a row just to knock it out.
Wow.
Something ridiculous. Yeah, like if whatever team becomes stale, they're gonna lose, and they could be a good team.
And then you have the playoff format where it's basically the winner of each division's the winner, the top 4. You get seeded 1 through 4, and you just go, okay.
Yeah, you
Out
get
of you
there's a
4,
divisional
only
winner.
1 goes to the conference finals.
Right, everyone gets a divisional winner, and then the question becomes, can it survive? Oh my God, because there's gonna be I tell you right now, there's a Northeastern Division team that should have made the playoffs, and they're gonna complain they're not gonna make the playoffs because there's no wild cards. There are no wild cards, and then there's gonna be some Western Division team that shouldn't have made the playoffs that are gonna make the playoffs, and then there's going to be teams that they don't have a good backup goalie, they're good teams, but they're gonna have to rely on a backup that's. I mean, look at Washington. They were trying to rely on Henrik Lundqvist, who I hope everything's going well, and I hope a speedy recovery for him after open heart surgery. But now what?
That has to suck. Like, especially for all the Washington fans, they were expecting a huge guy to come in. They weren't expecting great things out of him, but they were expecting something, and then that happens.
Something.
And Henrik has to be just gutted by all this happening so quick.
And the Rangers haven't said a word.
They really haven't.
They haven't.
I mean,
They
the
haven't
Capitals
put any
really haven't
PR
said
press
anything
about.
either.
Honestly, this is the best situation going forward. I think if he doesn't, let's say he doesn't come back, he retires as a Ranger without ever playing a game for Washington.
But how are Rangers gonna say, hey, let's sign a 1-day contract with us? Oh, by the way, how did your thing go? Because they haven't said a single thing.
I don't know. Maybe that's what he wants. We don't know.
I mean, sure don't know. If that's not what he wants, then they burn the bridge with him.
I mean, it's like with the Carolina Hurricanes. Eric Stahl, when he retires, they want him to come back and just do a 1-day contract because we want him to retire as a Cane.
But Carolina has always been supportive of Eric Stahl, his family and stuff. And I mean, the Stahl Family Foundation is still a thing here. Mm-hmm. All that's still run by Eric Stahl and his brother Jordan. There's still a connection here.
And Jared, don't forget Jared.
Right. There's Jared, and there's the other Stahl.
Isn't there a fourth one coming?
No, the fourth one played for the Rangers.
No, Mark, fifth one. I thought they had a younger brother.
How many Stahls are there?
I don't know. There's a cloning factory up in Red Deer, probably.
Their poor mother. All those boys.
Hey, you're the new hockey mom. You should know the struggles.
I don't know anything about boys. I don't have any. You guys are my only sons.
Yeah, and you deal with us on a regular basis, and there's times that you want to strangle us.
Like I said, God bless their mother.
All right, so back to where we were talking about where you need to rely on backups, and we got a decent backup in James Reimer. I'm still saying Peter Mrazek is our starter, and when you have a conversation where it's like, oh, should Peter be the starter or Reimer should be the starter, then you're probably in a good spot to make a run in this kind of back.
But then you also got to remember depth of not only that the players are on the roster, you don't really have an AHL team to pull from.
You have a taxi squad.
You have a taxi squad.
You have the taxi squad. Don't forget
it's like
we couldn't think of a better
that's what they're
name
called.
For them.
That's what they're called. They're called the taxi squad.
Taxi squad.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to carry an extra goalie on your taxi squad, which will probably be Ned. Amongst other extra forwards and extra defenders, and those guys will kind of labeled at camp. It's going to be an interesting kind of a look. So, do you bring in Suzuki? Right.
Yeah.
Well, but the question is, or do you want him to develop?
Well, that's the question, though, is who do we put him with? Because as of right now, we don't have an ECHL team who are the only league playing.
So, I mean,
in the continental United States.
I mean, is the AHL playing at all this year?
I don't know. They
haven't really announced anything. So at that point, you can't send them to the Wolves.
If they're going to be carrying all these extra people, who is going to play with the AHL then? So I would imagine that they're not.
Well, the taxi squad is supposed to be in the place of the AHL until the AHL starts up.
Right.
And then they'll change the rules, and it's right now they're like, well, we don't have any developmental leagues working. If a team doesn't have an ECHL, then they have zero development right now, outside of sending their players back to Europe to play because other leagues aren't running as well, like WHL and all that. So, Seth Jarvis, where is he going? He just got signed. 3-year
entry deal. That's actually not bad.
So here's an interesting thing about Seth Jarvis's ELC is he's getting the same deal that Suzuki and Svechnikov got, except he's getting an extra $10,000 at the AHL level.
Interesting.
So they all offered 70 grand at the AHL level. He's getting 80. That's the only difference. But I think Waddell has this thing down to a science right now. He's like, look, we're gonna give you the same deal we gave Andrei Svechnikov. And he's like, hey, at that point, you can't say no. I want more for my ELC, and here's 10 grand more if you end up having to play at the AHL level.
Whoa. Oh yeah, and by the way, you get to play in Chicago. Just throw that in there.
So here's the interesting concept.
Shout out to the Wolves; they like us.
Yeah, shout out to the Chicago Wolves, and the Checkers are doing well as well. We are the Carolina podcast, so we're not only talking about Carolina hockey and NWHL. There's some big news for NWHL. I think we'll break for that in here in a bit. Before we move on to the
Thunderbirds
TV schedule,
actually might be playing this year.
The who?
The
Thunderbirds? Yeah,
they might.
The FHL.
I mean, I've been hearing on and off things. Obviously, we know that the Marksmen are not doing a season tier, but a lot of their players are playing elsewhere in the SPHL, so cheer them on. But there's teams still going on in this state. I mean, college hockey, they're expecting to start up again in the spring.
Yeah, there's a lot. So a lot of players, easy. If you got the NCAA players, easy. You send them off to college and sigh of relief, right? But then you got all those guys. Where's Suzuki gonna play? Where is Jarvis gonna play? Where you want these guys to still develop. You can't just dump them on a taxi squad and just run drills with them all day. They need to play. They need to actually see some opponents. And
at this point,
it's gonna be a challenge.
Send them to Europe.
It's gonna be a challenge. You're gonna have a lot of them are being sent to Europe. McCowan was sent to Europe. He's been put on waivers as of like 2 hours ago as of recording. He's probably gonna pass. I don't see anyone really snagging minor league players with nowhere to put them. So,
I mean, I think the third goalie is a good idea anyway. Well, I really think they should keep that.
Well, at a taxi squad, you don't have to dress him, and you don't have to keep him around. And
with the injury history we've had with goalies, it just gives us that extra benefit.
And the Hurricanes are
We're sorry, Dave Ayers, we love you, but maybe you can be the fourth option.
Right? Alex Nedeljkovic will be on a one-way deal this year, so he gets to be on the taxi squad. They
which kind of helps us out, so we don't have to deal with that.
Right, but once the AHL comes back, if it comes back, then he might have to be put on waivers to go back down. So, yeah, we'll see how everything goes. There's a new deadline, of course, for trade deadline. There's a new start to the playoffs, a much later possible end, last final day of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then after that, we have to jump into the other elephant, or should I say Kraken, in the room.
Oh, no.
So the Kraken's not going to be this year.
No, it'll be next year, and that means that
next season,
the expansion draft. Or I mean, it'll be this year. So the expansion draft is this summer.
Okay.
Right after the end of the playoffs. And everything's already been compressed, and they're trying to start next season on time. So once this hockey season starts, we're going to get slammed hockey
right
through the end of next season. We won't really get a chance to really breathe. We've breathed all our breaths up until now.
Right. I mean,
it's like no hockey.
Hockey.
Amanda, I don't see a problem either. That just sounds great. Right. It's going to be hockey all the way through the
summer
pretty
of
much
22.
Through the
2022
Winter Olympics in Beijing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of Olympics and stuff, I don't know why it reminded me of the All-Star game, because there should be no All-Star game during the Olympics. We'll see if that's something they actually no wait, that is something they agreed on. So in 2022 there will not be an All-Star game. Guess what? It won't be an All-Star game in 2021 either.
Right.
So we won't see another All-Star game until 2023, folks.
Oh my goodness.
Which will probably be in Florida because that's what they agreed to.
Yeah. So the 2023 All-Star game is the next All-Star game. That means there won't be a new All-Star jersey for another 2 years.
I mean, it gives them 2 years to actually make a decent All-Star jersey, because last year's arguably were meh.
I mean, I kind of understood, but I think the Blues like designed one for themselves, and are like, slap everyone else's logo on there, it'll work. Because the stripes are supposed to be like music notes, and they're
Oh, were they?
yeah, that's what
I didn't catch that.
Now
Okay.
that's the whole concept was that
Oh,
the
yeah.
3 lines behind the Blues music note was supposed to be, like reading music on a sheet, and then it only worked for the Blues.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely selfish. But it's their all-star game.
What if they actually did it where they did the lines and then they put the logos in like the actual like song area? So like it would spell out whatever team you were. Yeah, in the line.
No.
So it would say Canes, but spelled out. I'm just throwing out ideas.
You're going too hard with that.
It's a little bit. It's a different idea.
Yeah.
It's like the Hurricanes when they need to do their stadium jerseys. They need a different idea.
We'll see. Have we really talked about the Whalers jersey, the reverse retro? Zach, you've got one. Pull it up.
Oh, you mean this beautiful thing? Oh,
Since we're on the topic of jerseys, we might as well bring it up.
It's got Pucky.
It's got Pucky on the shoulder. I mean, the new one has Pucky on the shoulder. The design is the same design as the old Whalers away.
The striping on the bottom's pretty much the same as the other one, but the gray.
The gray is what stands out.
What stands out because last year it was green, and that stood out. Green. But this is one of the few jerseys in the NHL that actually has gray as the primary color.
I think Tom Dunner's like, I want gray. And they're like, you can't have it for the away jerseys. Oh, darn it, I'll get it for the next one. They're like, what's the next one? Reverse retro. Make it gray.
I think the only other team in the NHL that has gray as one of their primary colors on a jersey is Vegas.
That's silver.
Yeah.
Don't count.
Close enough. Plus they have that gold jersey. They have that gold jersey now.
They do have that new gold jersey that looks pretty sweet.
It looks better than the mustard jersey that Nashville used to have.
Yeah.
At least they tried. You know who didn't try?
Colorado
Islanders.
Islanders.
They just once again hit the freaking snooze button. We're like, we'll come up with a jersey next time.
Right.
And I don't know, like,
there were a lot of teams that did that.
It's all right.
Their third jerseys were boring. These jerseys are just the same. They're just like a different color. All they did was they switched the orange and the blue on the
go back to the fisherman jersey. They couldn't do that. How hard would have that been?
That would have been amazing. But no.
The most out there jersey in my mind that actually worked was Anaheim's with the Wild Wing.
I liked it was interesting. I'll give them that.
But of course, all the Quebecers are mad because Colorado.
I love Colorados. They can die mad.
Right.
They can stay mad. Colorado's. So here's what I did like about what Colorado did that I kind of was interesting to see what it might have looked like for Carolina. It's like Colorado took the Nordiques design and then put Avalanche colors to it.
I'm not sure how the Whalers thing would work with red and black and
right. Maybe where the W was red, the tail was black on the gray.
And I don't know. I don't know. People design these things all the time and put them up on Twitter. Keep doing that, by the way. They're awesome.
So, yeah. If like Zach says, if you've got a design for us, you want it, that someone did that, and you're like, oh my god, it's gross, you guys, it's terrible. We still want to see it.
Somebody out there, please make a Raleigh Ice Caps version of the Canes. Like, redesign it so it's the Canes jersey, because I desperately want to see that as the Stadium Series jersey. Well, it's the first hockey team in Raleigh. If you want to do, like, a historic jersey, you have to incorporate that somehow.
Breaking news. Jonathan Reese has been signed to a 3-year ELC. And that's what my phone has been bleeping.
No, you want to talk about some breaking news? Breaking news with women's hockey, and we go to Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, segueing from the jerseys, the Riveters are getting a new jersey this year, which I am very happy about because I'm sorry, but I hated last year's jerseys. I hated them. They look like
Sorry,
elves.
Riveters, but this is constructive criticism.
I mean, with the stripes on the legs and the arms, they look like elves, and I was not happy with it. So I'm really, really glad that they are changing things up. Because they, obviously they had to get rid of the red because they were no longer partnered with the Devils. So they went to the red. They went to the white and blue, and that's fine. But the stripes, it just was so bad. But they look good now. I like what's coming out. Yeah,
corrections have been made. Jerseys have been saved. Lives will no longer be brought.
Wait, that was the breaking news?
That's not the breaking news. I was just trying to segue. You guys
let her have it. Okay.
Has Toronto put out theirs yet?
The Toronto 6?
Yes, they have.
There's such a fun. Their social media presence is.
I mean, it's like a big 6, and then it has a T on like a top of the 6. It's good. You should look.
So they're the 76ers?
No, they're just the 6.
It's Toronto 6.
I do like that. They have a singular name instead of a plural name. So
it's like Kraken.
Like Kraken. Okay. There's a lot of those going on. A lot of new teams are doing that. I'm digging it.
But it's also the Avalanche. They always talk about like we're the 6.
Minnesota White. Oh no, that's. I was thinking Minnesota Whitecap, but that is a Caps also. So
yes.
Oh yeah.
The Avalanche. Who else?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, breaking news. NWHL big news. First time ever, a professional women's team will be on NBCSN.
They're going to be on national television.
National TV, which is really, really, really cool. And they're going to have an all-female officiating, which is also really cool. The semifinals and the finals for the Isabel Cup are going to be broadcast. They're going to do the 4th at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. They're going to do the semifinals. And then on the 5th, they're going to show the actual Isabel Cup.
Wait a minute. We're actually getting a final this year? Yay! Curse you, COVID!
Well, they're going to be doing a bubble shortened, season from the 23rd running all the way into the, February the 5th.
But where is it?
It's in the Herb Brooks Arena in Lake Placid, New York. So they're going to, they're going to, what is that, 2 weeks, I think? They're going to put a whole season into 2 weeks. So these ladies are.
Think how awesome that is for the league that they're playing in arguably one of the most historic arenas in the U.S. And they're going to be on national television for the first time.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's like a double whammy for that league that if they don't capitalize on this, whoever's in charge needs to be fired.
Wow, bold words. Zach out here fighting.
I'm just saying, the league has been struggling to get a lot more sponsors, to get the capital that they want. They want to get that partnership with bigger investors, and in order to do that, they've been getting some good who are connected with the NHL, but they need more if they want to do that livable wage that what is their
come on. PWHPA.
Thank you.
Words are hard.
Terrible.
Acronyms are harder.
So one of their main demands is they want to make a livable wage. So how do you do that? You get sponsors and investors to do with the teams. And the only way you do that is to get that national exposure.
Attention. Right. That's great. And, it's a huge move for women's hockey.
Look at the soccer league, the women's soccer league. They've been on national television a heck of a lot more recently, and they're getting a lot more money as a result.
Another thing that's exciting about this season is there's 6 teams. We went from 4 teams where everybody plays in the finals. And then we went to 5 teams where it was pretty much the same thing, but you had like one that was a play.
But now you actually have that.
Now you have exactly. I think it's very cool. It's a big year, even with COVID. It's a big year for the NWHL. Speaking of the PWHPA, They've
See,
got.
she can do it. I can't.
I'm trying, right?
The PWHPA has announced that.
They've got some exhibition games coming up. They got some big sponsors. The Canadian teams, we've got Toronto, Montreal, and Calgary.
Ooh.
Toronto's got some. They hooked up with what is it? Sonnet Insurance. So they're sponsoring them. So their team Sonnet. They've got some big names in hockey. Sarah Nurse. I want to say her name, but I hope I'm not messing it up. I think it's Renata Fost, which is not related. I did look it up. She's not related to our Fost, right?
Oh, well, how much better would have that been?
Right, that would have been cool. But I did look it up. They're not related. He's Swedish.
See,
she's
we do
from
our
Ontario.
research, people. We do.
Right. And then Calgary is Team Scotiabank. We are familiar with Scotiabank. And they've got names like Rebecca Johnston and Casey Bellamy. And I mean, if you know anything about women's hockey, you've heard these names before. And it's pretty cool.
Do we get a Team Carolina where Alyssa's in charge?
Oh, that would be good. That would be good.
One day, I feel like that's room for expansion. Now,
Yeah.
Amanda, the question on everyone's lips.
Uh-oh.
As the PWHA expands and grows, and they make their own teams, and the NWHL is expanding and growing, is there opportunity for a merger where, not necessarily a merger, how about the champion from each of those leagues play each other for an all-women's cup?
You call it the Super Cup.
The Super Cup.
Because you got the Super Bowl, now you need the Super Cup.
Sure. Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting concept.
Where they share the revenue just for that one game.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, the PWHPA does have an all-star thing coming up in January in Tampa, but it's their all-star players, basically, with an exhibition game down there. But
Alyssa, we know you listen to these podcasts. Here's some ideas for you.
we hope you do anyway.
So just without having to worry so much, they do their own thing. They each crown a champion, and then those two champions now have to they come together, and it becomes a broadcasting game. The best of the best from both leagues come out, and they compete for the league that gets crowned as the All Women's Bowl, the All Women's Cup. How about that? And you name it.
That'd be cool.
There's opportunity for money there. They split the revenues. They get
a TV deal.
Right.
What cup would they use, though? They probably wouldn't use the Isabel Cup.
No. They make a
bigger one.
Where basically the Isabel Cup and the PWHA Cup becomes kind of like the conference cups, and then you make a new one.
Okay.
You make a new cup.
Make a new cup.
Right. You make a new cup, and
it starts off really small, and then as the champions go by, it gets bigger and bigger.
Well, there you go.
That sounds familiar. Anyways.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the whole point. But you got to make it a different design, though. It has to be a different design, but I think it should be like one of those ones where you add on to it.
Yeah.
You can add on from the top instead of the bottom. How about that? They make the bowl deeper and deeper.
How much beer would they fit in that when they win?
Oh my god.
Well, in 10 years from now, they'd be like really deep. Like 20 years from now, it'd be even deeper. And
they just use it as a hot tub.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
After a while, you start baptizing people in it. Not children, adults.
Oh, okay.
Instead of dunking Gatorade, they fill it up. They fill the cup up with it.
One guy who baptized his kid in the Stanley Cup. Now I'm thinking like, go bigger.
Go bigger.
Either that, or you can go full Korean baseball league instead of a cup, a sword.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I didn't realize. I didn't know that.
They actually did. They got a sword. But
and
the Durham Bowl supported one.
Yeah, but that wasn't a trophy. That was just like what the NC Dinos do. Yeah, they have like big like anime style sword that gets raised. It's great. It's glorious. And now everyone else feels like they need to up their game.
There's been some interesting news in the PWHPA while we're on them.
What is it?
Kendall Coyne Schofield got hired by the Blackhawks for player development coach. She's the first woman ever to hold that position, which is really cool.
I feel like we brought that up before.
No, that's new. I think what we brought up before was Blake Bolden being hired by the Kings as
Another
the
That's
fan of
scout.
the
right,
podcast,
yeah.
by the way.
That's right.
Where did
Yeah.
she get? I know she got signed somewhere. Where'd she end up?
What do you mean? She's with the Kings. She's
No,
a
no. Isn't
scouting
she still
coach
playing?
or scouting person. Um, she does PWHPA stuff, but I'm not sure if she's done anything lately.
Hmm.
I
Don't
mean,
worry,
I mean,
but we still
everything's so
support you,
crazy.
whatever you
Nobody's
do.
doing anything right now, anyways, because everything's so crazy. But
But with this whole like position thing, I feel like it's where did it start?
what do you mean?
Oh,
Where
I
are you going
remember
with
they're
this?
copying the Canes. Let's go, Canes. We did it first.
With the hiring female player for as
Yeah. Well,
Canes did
Alyssa
it first with Alyssa.
with
We
the
were better.
girls.
does it matter who did it first as
No,
long as
it
more
doesn't
people are
matter.
doing it?
Hey, I
Yeah.
support Alyssa's the best one.
Yeah, we love
Shameless
Alyssa.
plug.
We love her.
Oh man,
That's it.
there's just so much going. There's just so much going on. But
Yeah.
now we
I
gotta
think we've had so much
realize
off time that there's like so much happening now that it's getting ready to
it's
come
the
back.
flood wall. The flood wall is just
Right.
going
Yeah,
away.
and these walls aren't going to stop. You know, this
No.
dam isn't going to stop until for another year and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it'll stop after a decade. I don't know. Maybe.
Anyways, so the women's teams are going to get a whole bunch of games on national TV. Guess how many Carolina's getting? One.
One.
But it's a home game. It's an improvement.
Oh boy!
Is it home? I didn't know it was home. That's cool.
It is a home game against Dallas.
It's an improvement.
Now here's
Yeah.
the good news. It's not happening until April. Now,
Why is that good?
fingers crossed. Vaccinations come out at a improved rate, at the rate that we're kind of promised, which isn't happening. But this is not a political podcast,
Yep.
and we kind of
As
get
much as
more
we
of
try.
and we try to get to some semblance of normal, and people who've been vaccinated can start coming back to games. That home game could very much possibly have a crowd,
Maybe
a Carolina crowd to get on national TV. Now, I'd prefer if at this point our country got its proverbial together and we've returned to kind of almost a semblance of normalcy where we can actually get enough people to fill the arena, and
Hopefully by playoff time, that's more of a reality.
hopefully.
Maybe. I mean,
So-
at least maybe even the season ticket holders, maybe. If
Yeah,
they've been
but
vaccinated.
unfortunately for now, the Hurricanes and PNC Arena have already announced that
Yeah.
there will
Not
be
happening.
0 fans for the near future.
For near future, yeah. April's not the near future. It's kind of 4 months away.
And then, unfortunately, to even go
Keep
on top
that hope
of that,
up, Omar.
there was
I will.
$250,000 in damage.
Yes.
Well, they got plenty of time to fix it.
For anybody who doesn't know, there was a leak in the roof that slipped into the video control board room that controls the Jumbotron, and a lot of water just damaged a ton of equipment. And now
So
they
the board is fine. It's the equipment that controls the board that has been damaged.
Yeah. And
Now,
of course, nobody was there.
Right.
So who knows how long it was
Maybe
going
Trip.
on. Yeah.
Oh no, we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, we love
We'll get to
Trip.
Trip and our friends in the broadcast booth in a minute. but yeah, so it's just a minor thing. We'll be without a Jumbotron for a while, but no one's in there to notice.
Right.
Yeah, so again, no one's in there to notice it. It's not really something you really see on TV while we're watching, so they got plenty of time to fix it. Again, the equipment can be replaced, repaired. That's not really something I'm really truly worried about.
Nah, it's just more of a tidbit.
Yeah.
Gotta mention it. That's a lot of money.
It's some news. I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, but
It
the
is
bigger
money.
deal for a lot of Canes fans is the first time in a very, very long time we won't have John Forsland.
We won't. So John Forsland is
No.
officially moving on to NBC as a permanent gig. We will have Mike Maniscalco and Trick Tracy together. Mike has been doing an excellent job. So none of this is on like our disappointment in the team not to retain John
But
Forsland.
it's
Is
just like
really
it's just like when Chuck Caton went away. There are people that's with the franchise for a ton of its history, even back to the Whalers. And it's just sad to see some of them go. And we knew as soon as the help me out, what was his name? The guy who retired. The one on NBC who retired.
Oh, Doc Emmerich?
Yeah, we basically knew as soon as he announced his retirement that John was going to get the nod. So,
good news is we'll get more John Forslund on our video games.
yeah, and hopefully for a Stanley Cup final call.
Yeah, it'll be John. There's really no one better in the game. There's no one else in the game that really can call the game at Doc Emmerich's level other than John.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of John's leaving.
What?
Bogsy. Boggs is leaving us.
Our friend of the podcast, Jonathan Boggs, who what was he? The director of fan engagement? Is that what?
Right,
he
and he's moved on. He's accepted a position with the NC Lottery.
And
so
he will be missed, but he's still a friend of the pod, so he'll probably still drop subtle comments every once in a while.
Oh yeah,
I hate to lose it. I'm happy. I encourage people in developing and improving.
Yeah, he will be missed, we still have our friends there. Big Mike's still there. A friend of the podcast, Zach Shellwalk, he's still there with the Hurricanes, so we'll still see him around. It's just with COVID happening, a lot of faculty transition has taken place with the Hurricanes. Like Ron the ref, who's been with the Hurricanes for a long time, and fans absolutely loved him when he was the guy behind the mic on the ice. But then, unfortunately, it was like, a week ago that he announced he had COVID?
So steady recovery for him. Just hopefully he gets better.
It's going to be a year of transition when fans do come back, where they'll have to get used to not having John Forsland. They'll have to get used to Boggs not being there. Ron the ref might not come back. There is going to be a lot of transition.
It is.
So yeah, it is. But
it's going to be interesting how they're going to do the broadcast, because yes, we got a nice taste of Mike Maniscalco during the playoffs. He did a great job. Mm-hmm. Please keep up with the wordplay. You did a great job of that. Him and Trip Tracy do still have that chemistry that John and Trip had. Abby, though, our friend Abby is getting a promotion now, so she's going to be where John Maniscalco's old position is.
Yes.
So is Shane taking over Abby's old position?
No, because Shane will be with Abby.
Right.
I don't know what's going on with that, but
so right now there isn't a need for an in-house host.
For now, but eventually.
This is true.
All right. So until then, I'm pretty sure the Hurricanes have been great at finding the right talent and the right people to bring on to their organization, and there's plenty of young people.
Hire me.
There's plenty of young, wonderful people out there with a lot of energy and excitement for the game that they can bring on.
Yeah.
Or Amanda. Or Omar. I don't know. One of us. Pick one.
So there's a lot of changes this season.
There's just so much.
We talked about Fast? I know we brought up Fast. Fast being
That's
signed.
Not the right name.
Foss.
It's Fost.
Is it Fost? Is it Fost?
It's Jesper Fost.
Fost. He's super fast. You have to say his name really fast.
He's about to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's very fast.
Jesper is joining on the team. He's fitting in really good during camp. Well, the training camp hasn't officially started. Practice has.
But most of them are there.
Right. So training camp will start next week. For a lot of teams, the 7 teams that missed the playoffs, it starts this week. Next week will be for everyone else.
In our beautiful new practice facility.
That's right. So the new ice is out.
None of us are allowed in.
Right.
Give it time. We'll all be there cheering them on.
Except Rayla, because she's with the Junior Canes now. So
yeah.
It's a good facility. It's a great facility. A lot of the ice rinks are finally opening back up. My local rinks finally open. And I've only been there once, because I was sore after going one time.
Okay, Omar, you have to do this now. You have to do it for me and Amanda. You have to go over there in your Mandalorian outfit.
No,
and Kristen has to take a picture.
No, I am
Come
not
on,
jump. I
do
am
it.
not putting my
Do
Boba Fett
it.
helmet on the ice and then getting rocked because I can't see anything out of it.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that would be a good playing helmet.
No, I don't think that's. I don't think. I see the visor doesn't actually work. I can't actually shoot pucks. There's no jetpack.
Jetpack.
Okay.
Well,
It's
all you have to
not.
do is put on
It
your
is
skates,
not.
go to the rink, get a little,
It is not a
get a little,
hockey approved helmet.
No.
get
It's
a
not
little
actually made out of Beskar.
Baby Yoda. Get a little Baby Yoda. You don't even have to go on the ice. Just stand next to it.
I have a Baby Yoda. Just
Then do it.
no. I'm not.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
No. No. No.
No.
No.
Why
No.
not?
I just said why not. Several reasons why not.
Yes.
Mostly
I don't
concerning
count
my personal health.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is why we miss each other, because of this weird stuff.
You're the only one who's really weird. Okay, I'm really weird too. Amanda's fine.
Omar, don't even start. We're all weird.
It's fine.
I don't know if you call me fine, but
Not like that.
I
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
everything's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Act normal.
No, we're all just like, can we get drunk for New Year's or something? I don't know.
Oh, you're not?
You don't think I'm not? I want rid of this terrible year. Please, 2021 be better.
I'm definitely gonna be toasted.
So we get
Granted,
to 2020.
it'll be in my own
Two.
living room, but you know.
Okay,
2022 Electric
2021
Boogaloo.
through 2022 be just the years of hockey, and we'd be fine. There's no more. Hopefully, Corona goes away, and we just have hockey for 2 years. Please.
Fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. You're right. This is fine.
Everything's fine.
There's
It's
no
like that
fire
meme
everywhere.
that everyone does with the fire and the dog.
Right. Yeah.
I'm about to change my background to the fire and just be like, this is
Right. There you
fine.
go.
Oh, mug. All right. This has been a great episode. I
Yeah.
feel like we're missing something.
I don't know. What are we missing? Come on.
You know, we
gotta-
kind of touched on it, but we didn't really go into the expansion draft.
The thing that we really don't want to talk about because we
Nope.
don't know who's going to get stolen.
It's a defender's going to get stolen. We know this because half of these defenders have been drafted by Ron Francis, and he's going to
Right.
want them.
Please re-sign Dougie first.
Yes.
Oh, that's another thing. Dougie Hamilton and Andrei Svechnikov still need to get new contracts for not this season, next season.
Next season.
Amongst other people, but they're most
you cannot
important.
lose them. You can't lose them.
No, I mean that's your backbone. Well, not your backbone, but your
yeah.
three superstars.
Right.
I mean, without them, really. And then there's another thing, right? Say the season's over. There's gonna be like which goalies do you sign?
Ooh.
I guess
They're
this year
all
going
going to
to
be UFAs.
right.
That's
Maybe
gonna be a
maybe
good
they're just going to
question.
use this year as a test. You know who
We'll see.
who do
There's
we
a
keep?
lot that needs to be answered this summer. And
Are we
again,
finally going to bring Ned up permanently?
this summer's been shortened, right? Because they want to.
Right.
This
No
season's going to
training
run a
camp,
little
pretty
longer.
much.
It's only 56 games, so it's not going to run that much longer.
Right.
And a lot of these games are going to be back to back. They're not going anywhere. And at the same
It's like
time,
3 in one day.
And knowing Ron Francis,
Well, not
we're
the
gonna
same
see
team,
a
I
lot
just
of
mean-
roster moving. So like one day Mrazek's a starter, maybe Reimer's the next day. Go back to
did you say Ron Francis?
Mrazek, and then he gets put
No, he said
on the
Reimer.
taxi squad to get some rest. Maybe we'll see that 3 goalie cycle.
Yeah. That would be good.
Well, he has to come up from the taxi squad for that to happen,
Right.
and there's a process for that. So if they're on the road,
Yeah.
it won't really happen. So yeah,
True.
Dave Ayers, please follow the team with a car or something.
Well, yeah, I'm all pro Ned
we'll
anyway.
see if he can even come into the U.S. He's in Canada right now, living his best life.
For real.
I mean, honestly, we gotta be honest. We are never gonna stop with the Dave Ayers jokes. It is the best thing ever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
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 Toronto,
I mean,
we're sorry. It's going to be the punchline everyone uses on you, and it's the line
Yeah.
that we're going to say for the rest of our history because we absolutely love
I mean,
it.
it is history. It is history.
it absolutely is. Yeah.
It's in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
hmm
So, yeah.
Very rare Hurricanes get in the Hockey Hall of Fame, but when we do, it's worth it.
Earned it.
So yeah, there's a lot to look
hashtag
forward
put in
to this
Brenda Moore.
season. And I think one of the
Yeah.
things that people need to look forward to is more of our podcast.
Maybe.
Yes.
So our Patreon is done. Thank you so much for everyone who's been a part of that. We're closing it just because it's beginning to get really difficult to keep up with. I know I still owe people something for December. I promise I'm going to make it really fun.
We've seen it. It's fun.
So I need to get on that and send it out. But afterwards, we're gonna work on creating a new website for revolutionrampage.com, and it'll include a store to include all stickers from the past. And I think a lot of people are gonna really enjoy having the choice, really, to go back and like, hey, I want so many of these stickers, so many of these stickers. They're timeless for the most part. They make excellent gifts. I wish I'd opened the store before Christmas because there were great stocking stuffers.
But then
Mhm.
we also have the massive backlog in the USPS service, so
Right. So between the backlog there and really just trying to get the right designs and everything, and I try to keep everything timely and timeless at the same time, and really nothing happening in the hockey world. It's been difficult to kind of keep the ideas rolling, but December is going to be cool. We'll get those out soon. And then from there, we'll have a store, and then we'll announce new products as they come onto the store. And
we're always on social media if you want to bug us.
yeah, so if you have cool ideas or you want to see some of your artwork on some of our products, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check us out, revolutionrampage.com. So, and where you can catch this episode and all of our previous episodes. Follow us on those social media platforms. We're also on YouTube for the video version of this podcast if you're not already watching it. We're not ugly. We're actually pretty decent looking, so it's okay. You can log on to YouTube and check us out. We won't judge. Other than that, we miss everyone. We miss the sport of hockey, and hopefully sooner rather than later we'll be in the parking lots and joking about how terrible the year 2020 was and how everything's brighter and better. So
Our
Oh,
future
I
is
miss
so
my
bright, bro.
tailgate.
We
remember,
gotta wear
as we step
shades.
into 2021, be quiet, don't make a move, do not touch anything. All right, we've learned what
Don't
happens.
go anywhere.
Just
I can't
quietly,
No, I can't touch
quietly
anything.
move through like
No,
a
Yeah.
cat in the
no.
china shop. Do not tip anything over the sides. Let's not push it. Let's deal with the crisis on hand first. Let's not introduce anything else. All right,
But do
Brandon.
get these sweet Carolina sunglasses though. They're sweet.
Yeah. So if you got also if you got anything cool from the holidays, I got some cool things from Zach. He sent me this Rod Brindamore collectible from a game that happened 18 years ago. That I was in. Well, 18 years ago. That I was not around. Actually, closer to 20. Sort of closer to 19 years ago. So this thing's older than some of y'all listening.
Amanda got a sweet stick
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Zach's got his.
and some very nice social media recognition from Kevin Weeks.
Yeah. Kevin Weeks did give us a shout.
So yeah.
Sure did.
And I got this sexy hat.
Oh yeah.
I also got these sick Carolina sunglasses. Shout out to the Florida Caniac for sending me the link to this stuff. They're from Blade Shades if y'all want them.
So yeah, it's gonna be a good year. I think. I hope. Fingers, everything
We'll see.
crossed. Those arms crossed. My legs are crossed. You can't see them, but
Everybody just start doing yoga so we can all be pretzels.
Right.
right. Just pretzel yourselves up, and we're good to go. All right. So yeah.
Ah!
While Zach
right,
unpretzels
bye,
himself, We'll see y'all next time.
Ugh,
It's
Bye.
Red
Happy
Revolution
New Year.
Rampage.
bye,
I'm Omar.
Zach on pretzel.
Amanda. See ya.
Happy New Year's.